Hi, it's Carl again. Well, guess where I am? Yes, back at Westonbirt. Why do I come here? Just looking at behind me, I think, is the explanation, to be honest. Lovely day, blue skies pretty much. Actually, there was a bit of cloud this morning, but it's clearing. But the colours are just amazing this time of year. So well worth a visit, or do wherever you are in the world, seek out this type of places. It's definitely the right thing to do. So here's a sort of typical view you get walking around. Really, just everywhere you look, amazing. As I said in a previous video, it really does depend very much on timing it right to get the best. You can't get every tree perfect because some mature into their awesome colours sooner than others. But say this particular visit, sort of mid-October in the UK, was about as good as it gets, really. And again, because I'm quite familiar with some of the trees, obviously the area itself, it's interesting to see how things change over the summer. Also note that even though the car park's relatively full, I did get there reasonably early, which is sort of helpful. But it's such a vast place that you're not going to run into many people there, to be honest. Just absolutely lovely place to be. So I've got lots of still shots in this video to have a look at, which I hope you'll enjoy. And I have mixed it up with some sort of vertical video that I've been using to do the posts, the little shorts posts as well. Just note that a lot of these cultivars are not that exceptional in a way. They're Atropopereum or they're generic ammonium trees here, but so what? They just look amazing. And actually, because of the relative positions of them and how much sun they actually get, make quite a big difference to how they mature and how the colour changes. Or perhaps half the trees in shade a lot of the day and the other half isn't. It all adds to the effect, really. So that was a classic sort of full moon Shiroswanum, as we call it in this day and age, maple. Just amazing too. You've got so many reds coming through, obviously, but just the sheer variety of different colours is absolutely stunning. If you catch these on a day where the sun's pretty good as well, it obviously shines through the leaves and enhances the whole thing, really. So just some lovely examples. Interestingly, some sort of have a uniform colour, others really mixed. So one like this has got such a great mixture of oranges, greens, red, all mixed into one. Really, just fantastic. This was just it's sort of Halloween soon. There's lovely cobwebs in some of the trees. Worth getting there quite early, actually. I did start out a lot earlier than I normally do, and caught a lot of these sort of low light type of pictures, which was really nice. Again, many of these cultivars are extremely rare, may not be kind of in existence anymore. I don't know. Certainly not ones you would commonly find available, but nonetheless kind of really nice. Sort of more linear leaf kind of one, Ojishi, which looks brilliant. This one has, I haven't captured this as much as I'd like, but it's got really triangular curled leaves, actually. So it's the trident maple. So never seen one of those outside of here, but would dearly love to get hold of one of those. It's really quite different. And there's more palmate leaves here. Again, great to get inside the trees as well as outside, or photograph them the front, the back, the side, the way the light falls on them. Not only does it look different on the images, but in certain trees they seem to sort of grow towards the light, obviously, so it creates a different effect. And basically this is the sort of pinnacle of the year end, I suppose. And it's sad because, in a way, you know, the trees will lose their leaves. That's a natural thing. It happens. They have to go through that life cycle. But on the other hand, it's quite Japanesey to me, really, that, you know, it's not a constant display of colour. It's not a conifer that just looks green and pretty all year. They look amazing. They then look even better in the autumn. And then you move on to that overnight wintering period, but just always looking forward to next spring with the spring colours too. I can't make up my mind actually which season I prefer. I mean, overall in the spring you're going to get all these lovely colours, particularly more pinks, and then you're going to get all the camellias, azaleas and the other related plants in bloom as well, which is pretty amazing. Don't know, I like them both. Both seasons are just fantastic, really. I think it's also interesting to note we've had a really hot, dry summer. I mean, we've broken records in the UK here for high temperatures, and yet look at them. There are ones a bit more on the outskirts that certainly got a bit of damage, but the way they planted these, the way they've sort of protected each other, is they've done really, really well. Again, different habits of trees. There are some very, very low spreading ones, some others very vertical. It all adds to the interest, really. Yeah, Beni Gaza, absolutely lovely. A lot of these sort of bonds starting with Beni are sort of dwarf varieties, if not all of them really, but after many, many years they're hardly dwarf. This was just the pick of the bunch, I should think, really. Absolutely stunning colours. So again, you know, I probably walked past this and not really noticed it all on the other visits to Westonbirt over the summer, but some just come into their prime. So that's Killarney. Definitely would like one of those if they were available. Interesting to look at them relative to others. The way they're planted is very clever, mixing those colours up. They all sort of play off against each other, really. And the way they've done it is they've kind of underplanted them with these much taller trees as well, which gives them the shade they kind of need to thrive. Lovely, lovely long leaves on this one. And it's also good that they've got nameplates, because it's almost impossible to tell, particularly in certain seasons, one from another with absolute certainty. But this sort of linear leaf variety is really rather special. So Shimanoichi, if that's the correct pronunciation, it probably isn't. Whereas this one is also a linear leaf one, which I do have. And again, it's going this lovely sort of oranges and different shades. This season is quite short. You know, the space of a few days here and there can make a real difference. But to say my Kotonuito at home, very, very close to following that in terms of when it changed colour and kind of what it looked like. So it's very much down to individual cultivars at what changes at what time and what rate, really. Okay, it's nice to get the sort of whole tree in pretty much, and then go close and see them from the inside out. And there's just a beautiful collection of primary colours. This fella's, I thought was quite nice. It's quite unusual, sort of vertical growing. So again, in a smallish garden, you'd probably fit one of those in. Quite a vertical habit, really. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, I'll be honest. And then these little fellas you see out in the middle on their own. A little bit damage to the branches, but sometimes it just all adds to the character. A lovely, lovely sort of spreading habit. But of course you would need quite a lot of room in the garden to fit one of those in. Always keep it small in a pot though, and keep that size under control really. Brilliant, brilliant yellows as well. Yellows I think always look great in the garden because they not only look good, but they kind of make everything else look good around them really. That's Benikawa. And this is one I'll keep coming back to. It's just the most wonderful example of a Siryu. But again, from the inside, it looks totally different. From that side, it's like a different tree, really. I say it does go these sort of lovely reddy orange colours as well. It's very, very striking. Vandermoss Red. What a great name. Of course, some of these trees, I mean, the names don't really make any sense until this season, where they may be quite green throughout the year, but suddenly sort of put on an amazing show of red colour. Amazingly warm as well. And I think because the weather's been mild, it's actually made this year particularly good for maple colours. This one always looks brilliant though. It's an Atropoporium that's right on sort of one of the entrances or exits, depending where you look at it. But always looks stunning. And again, this is just a generic maple really. As I've described it, the kind of wolf of maples. But what is not to like? Really. Because the leaves being on the ground as well do kind of add to it at this point. That's just incredible. Just kind of painted effect. Once again, if you visited a week or two later, it's still worth it. It most definitely is. But I just think some of these, most of those leaves would be on the ground by that point really. Crazy colours, just looking fantastic. Again, just nice to have a sort of carpet of leaves to enjoy as well. So I hope you enjoyed the sort of mixture of the still shots and a bit of video as well. I mean, just let me know in the comments what you think really. Or would you prefer to keep them separate, Whichever people like, we can oblige really. Yes, the Atropoporium, nothing too radically different. And this is one worthy of note. It's that beautiful orange colour. Certainly it's in the fall. And if you look at the name of this one, guess what? It's Westonbirt Orange. So this place has been around so long, they have actually got one or two of their own sort of cultivars that they've named. Understandable. I mean, the original trees were planted 150 years ago, and some of them have died sadly, being over 100 years old. So many of these are sort of seedlings of the originals that were originally planted. You may just hear the odd person talking there. It's a great sort of family day out, to be honest with you. And once again, I may have mentioned this before, this is about the only place I know in the UK that put their admission charges up in October. It's just that popular, really. But I've said this many times, if you have anywhere, this is about 80 miles from me. It's a bit of a trek, but I don't care. To me, it's well worth the mileage to go and have a great day out. And having that season ticket means you can go and enjoy it just at the right times, to be honest. Again, fairly generic cultivars, but just looking lovely. So just to say, as we sort of head towards the end, it's not the end. There's much more to be said. I'll do a video probably in about a week on kind of winterizing the trees, so we're offering the right level of protection, and talk about sort of watering and a few bits and pieces. But I also think there's different trees that actually look really good in winter. They don't stop selling maple trees in winter. So I'll have a discussion really about why you might want to buy a maple out of leaf, either because it looks great at that time during the winter months, or if you know what you're buying, why not buy a plant sort of in readiness for the spring, I suppose. Make a fairly strange Christmas present, being perhaps just some twigs, or for those whose birthdays in the winter wherever you are in the world. But why not? I've done this, and I think it's quite intriguing to see what you've actually bought and what it looks like when they finally leaf out. And once again, thanks for all those people who subscribed. We're still growing at probably a slower rate, because it's a lot of these videos seem to be watched by people in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's kind of it's going out of the gardening season, so they're perhaps not searched for as much as they used to be, but still growing nonetheless. And I'm confident that come sort of spring next year, we'll carry on the journey. I'll be back here, obviously, as well as Batsford and other places I enjoy, to sort of keep things going, and with an update. And of course, there's always my own plants as well to appreciate. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too long, but I just wanted to capture as much as I can of Westonbirt at this time, because it's just so amazing. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't, and press the notification bell as well. That'll let you know of any more videos that I upload. So thanks ever so much. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you soon.